Okay, so it's time for Multiview 3. This is actually a really, really difficult drawing because there's a couple different things that we're looking at for this drawing. The first thing we need to note is we've got this counterbore symbol right here. So this symbol just means you've got this area right here, which is our counterbore. It has a diameter of 0.5, so from here to here is our diameter 1/2 inch. It goes down 0.25, and then our inner circle has a diameter of 0.25, and it goes all the way through. So there's a smaller circle down here at the bottom that goes all the way through. So this one's going to be difficult to calculate. Down here on the bottom, sorry, this is a little tough to see. Our front view is going to be 2.3 plus this radius, so from here to here, okay? And that outer circle has a diameter of 1.75. So what you've got to do is take 1.75 and divide it by 2, and you should get, 1 divided by 2 is 0.5, and 0.75 divided by 2 is 0.375, so it should be 0.875. So 2.3 plus 0.875. You're going to add that together, and it's kind of tricky because if you notice, you've got this weird thousandths of an inch thing going on. So when I add these together, 2.30 plus 0.875, so that was 3.175. So it's going to be a little bit tricky. 3.175 for that whole front view, and then 1 inch for the height. We're going to then calculate the right side view. So 3.175 by 1, that's our front view. We've then got our 1 inch plus our right side view, which is going to be 1.75 by 1, up 1 inch, top view, 1.75 by 3.175. The 1.75 is just the diameter of this outer circle. So this has a diameter of 1.75, and this width is only 1.3. So we're going to use the width of the cylinder because it's the largest part. Okay, so if I add all those together, I get 3.75 on this side, and then if I add the other side together, I get 3.175 plus 2.75 if I add all those together, so 5.925. Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous right now. So you're just gonna go to 5.9 and then go like a quarter, 5.925. So you're just gonna go a little bit past 0.9, so 5.9, go a quarter of the way to 6. So those are our two measurements, 3.75 by 5.925. So I'm going to grab a drawing sheet and get it set up, and hopefully this is looking okay. I'm really starting to run out of light here, so I might have to turn on the overhead light. So corner, smooth it out, corner, and my bottom two, there, and there. Find the center, so this should be 10, it's 10.1, so 5.05. I'm going to use 0.5 for this. I like drawing it in 0.5. Sorry. I'm actually going to draw this a little bit darker so you can hopefully see it. 6.9, so 3.4. 3.45 is my midpoint, horizontal line. And so now I've got to take that 5.925 and I've got to divide that in half. So 5.925 divided by 2 equals, you get to 10,000th here, so 2.9625. So 2.9625. So 2.9 and then 625 is probably like somewhere in there. So 2.9 and halfway past the halfway point between 2.9 and 3. So make a mark at 0 and then a mark at 5.925, which is out there, and that should give me my width. And if you want, it's probably not a bad idea to actually measure these after you draw them to make sure they're correct, or I guess they're equal. That would be the key. And you can also measure the whole distance too. So the next one is 3.75 divided by 2. So let's look at that. 3.75 divided by 2 equals 1.875. So 1.875. So it's like 3/4 of the way to 1.9. So there, 1.8, 1.875, right below 1.9. I guess you could draw them without overlapping at this point, so it's less erasing. That helps. So I've got my rectangle here. I'm gonna get rid of my lines. The corners are the most important part. You want to make sure those corners remain. The rest of it's not as important. Okay, so there's my rectangle. If I look back at my sheet here, front view 3.175 by 1. So 3.1 and then 3/4 of the way to 3.2 would be like, somewhere right there. So I'm going to draw that. I'll actually project this up to the top, which will, sorry, it's hard to unlearn that drawing lightly thing. So my height is 1, and I'm going to project this across to the top view, or to the right side view, like that. I've got my 1-inch space. Mark that, and now I should have 1.75, which I do, so that's perfect. So now I can draw my vertical line. So I just projected that 1-inch height to my right side view, used the 1 inch of space, and then I have the 1.75 width of that right side view. And now, just for the sake of clarification here, I'm gonna get rid of that. Get rid of that so you can see the right side view and the front view. So same thing going up here. Make a mark at 0, or sorry, 1 inch up, which was on my 0, and I can just connect it over to here. That's all I've got to do since I projected it up. You can also get cute with these other little inside parts. I could go like that, add that one on the inside, then shift it down to there. So those can work. Those can work great too. Get rid of those. There we go. So we got our 3 views centered on the page. Now I could just start drawing some of the features. Again, I like to start with what's most prominent, and to me it's like this rectangle and this cylinder are the most prominent parts. So I could measure the 1.3 inch width, which that's actually going to be kind of tricky. So 1.3, if you go 1.3 divided by 2, so 1.3 divided by 2 equals 0.65. So from the midpoint, I could go 0.65 each direction. So it's 1.75. So it should be 0.875 for the midpoint. And then I go 0.65 each direction. So I find the midpoint and then I just go back 0.65 and then 0.5, 0.6, 0.65 like that. And that should give me my horizontal lines for that rectangle section. So hopefully that looks okay on your end. I've got those two rectangles. So now I could find the center point. So 1.75 divided by 2 should also be 0.875. So I'm going to measure in 0.875 and then draw a vertical line up and then 0.875 and draw a horizontal line. So this should give me my center mark for both circles, like that. And then now I can use my circle template. And so I've got a 1.75 diameter circle, so I need this big one. So 1.75. And then the inside circle has a diameter of 1 inch. So, of course, I need to use both of them. So same thing, line the center marks up with the lines that I drew, and then draw my circle. So now I can do the same thing with this other circle. It's in 0.65. So 0.65 in like that. Measure up 0.65. I'll go from the same 0.5, 0.6, 0.65 right there. So it should be, it should line up with that other center line because they're both in the center there. And then I've got the two circles. So I've got the counterbore. So this large one, diameter 0.5, and I've got the smaller one in here, diameter 0.25. So I'm going to go diameter of 0.5. And then diameter of 0.25, which is a quarter inch right there. There we go. So top view is looking pretty good. Let's see here. I'll project that cylinder. I'll try to finish off that cylinder. So I can project that cylinder down to there. This rectangle has a height of, oh geez, it looks like 0.5. Sorry for the print quality. Looks like that's a height of 0.5. So I can measure that. There's my 0.5. And now I could go across both of these views like that. I do have this width here, which was 1.75 or 1.3. Sorry, 1.3 for that width. So I measured a 0.875 and then measure 0.65 both directions from that center point. So 0 and then 1.3. So it's 0.65 from here, 0.65 to there. And I can project this up because it doesn't go all the way to the end. So I've got that 0.65 there. And I can erase that and that like that. So that's getting pretty close. Let's see here. What do I want to do next? I'll get rid of that. And I'll get rid of that. And then, so this is one of the things from the book. We're intersecting this piece right here, and it's intersecting with this cylinder. So we don't want it to stop right here. Okay, it doesn't stop right when it touches the cylinder. It actually wraps into this direction. So it comes in a little bit. And it doesn't say on this drawing, but it says on our top view. So see this point right here on our top view? That's how far that piece comes in. So we want to draw that on our front view, if that makes sense. So we don't want it to end there. We want it to come out to there so that it lines up with the top view. So that's one little tricky thing with this drawing. Okay, so we've got some hidden lines. I'm going to draw these hidden lines real quick just so you can see. And then I'll probably, I think I might stop it a little short. We'll see. We'll see how the lighting is. So these hidden lines start on the top, on this top visible line, and they go all the way through. So I need to show them starting and stopping on those visible lines. Same thing here. Start on the visible line, travel down, end on the visible line. Also lined up with this quadrant point, this far point on the circle. This one is a little bit different story. So this counterbore, you're going to have two circles. And the tricky thing about that is there's some hidden line rules that we need to follow when we draw those. So we're going to have the outer, so on the front view, we're going to have this outer circle that's going to come down and go across like that. So this is our 0.5 part. So it's going to be, it's going to have a diameter. So this will be 0.5. And then the depth, 0.25. And then we have this smaller circle right here that goes through the object that has a diameter of 0.25. So what you've got to do is have another set of hidden lines that come down. So you've got hidden lines that come down and over for the counter bore, and then the hidden lines that represent this small circle, the small hole right here, they go all the way through. But the rule that we have to follow with this is we have to have these form L's and T's. L's and T's. So I'm going to do that on this front view, and hopefully you can see this. I'm actually going to come in a little bit for this. Oh no. Can't tell, I think it's falling. Let me do this. Sorry. Okay, oh, this is much better. So I'm going to line up with my 0.5, and I'm going to bring it all the way across, or all the way down. And I'll do the same thing here. And then I've got the inside circle, and you want to try to draw these kind of light. And I'll go kind of somewhere in there. It doesn't need to go all the way across. Somewhere there. So now I need to measure that 0.25 depth. So 0.2, so 0.1, 0.2, 0.25. There's my depth. So what I want to do is form an L and a T. So I go bottom of the L, T, probably another one, a T, and then an L. And then going up, I want to finish the next part of that L, and then end it on the visible line. So there's only two marks going that direction. Same thing there. Finish the L, end it on the visible line. And I'm actually going to try to clean this up a little bit with my eraser shield. I need to get that little piece. I'll use this little guy. Holy cow. There's a lot of reflections going on. Let's try that. Not too shabby. Hopefully, yeah, still recording. The same thing right there. So it comes down, then it forms an L, then a T, extra line, T, L. And then I can erase these. So I'll get rid of that. I'll get rid of that. And then my T's go down. So now I can take my T, go 1, and then end it on the visible line. 1, end it on the visible line like that, and then try to do the same thing. Erase. And erase. So hopefully that's, I might need to finesse that a little bit. Here we go. So that's what it needs to look like on both views. I've got the L and the T. And then of course, as you all remember, I can hear you shouting it out right now, we want this center mark. So the center mark, we're going to do a short dash, and then a space and a long dash on either side. Do the same thing here, short dash in the middle, long dash, long dash. So there are center lines on that view. And now that's essentially it. So if I grab my 0.7 here, there, there, there. Oh, sorry. There. My intersection and my end right here. So that's the front view. So we've got our hidden lines, our center lines, and we've got our hidden lines forming the T's and the L's. That one is just not perfect. Let's see if I get it with that little swell. About no, that's not gonna work. That would actually work right there. There we go. Makes it a little bit better. But that's essentially the front view. So the top view's done, the front view's done, and then the right side view, you're gonna have the exact same thing going on the right side view. So we're gonna have the hidden lines for this on the right side view, and we're gonna have this entire section down here also drawn over here, but it's gonna be centered. So I won't show you how to do that because it's pretty straightforward. I'll darken in this view really quickly up top. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time cleaning up this drawing. It's kind of messy. There are a lot of lines thanks to all those circles. But that's roughly what that thing would look like. I'd probably go in and maybe darken those circles a little bit. Get rid of these lines. You know, if you leave those center marks, you can just turn them into center lines. That's a nice little trick. The nice thing about the 0.5, so you can just go like that, and all of a sudden you've got a center mark on that circle. So that's pretty handy. That one's going to be tough. Sometimes it's easier to just draw it or erase it and then just redraw it. You kind of have to count for the width of the pencil like that. So yeah, the only thing weird, I guess I'll show you this really quickly. You do need to add the symbols for, you know, diameter 0.25 through, and then counter bore diameter 0.5, depth 0.25. So I'll add those really quickly just so you can see what that looks like. I'm gonna bring it down. I'll use my 45 to do this. So I'll probably bring it, I'll probably go up for this with my 0.5. I'll go up to here, bring it over, add my arrow, and then I'll put both of those on one line. So I'll say diameter, double check here. So you can go, let's see here, diameter, I'll draw it the way it's done here. So diameter 0.25 through, and then counter bore has a diameter 0.5 0.50. And then depth is a line and then an arrow pointing down. 0.25. So it would look just like that. Yeah, so give this a try on this other view. And I will have the template, the drawing template, the overhead transparency ready to go tomorrow, so you can check it. You probably want to get these views lightly drawn in, then check it, and then see what it looks like. I guess just for the sake of it, sorry to run away from the microphone. I wanted to see what it looks like. Don't worry, the way these videos go, there is no editing. I don't want my computer to catch on fire again. Oh, and of course, I don't have one with me. Sorry. Sorry. So I'll get this thing uploaded tonight. So thanks for watching.